Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Syrian government loses control of another key city of Daraa. Thousands flee the city of Homs as rebels' advance continues. Several countries, including India, issue travel advisories. TikTok ban in the United States is set to take effect in January after appeals court upholds divestment law. Company appeals to Supreme Court citing free speech. From ashes to glory, Notre Dame doors to open once again 5 years after fire, marking a huge milestone in the historic monument's recovery. 21st December declared World Meditation Day at the UN General Assembly, with India playing an instrumental role. And in World Chess Championship, Indian challenger Gukesh and China's world champion Liren eye a breakthrough after series of draws to clash in the 10th game on Saturday. Updates from Syria first. Rebels in the West Asian country are taking control of major cities one after another. In the latest blow, the Syrian government lost control on Friday of the symbolic southern city of Daraa and most of the eponymous province, which was the cradle of the country's 2011 uprising. While Aleppo and Hama, the two other main cities taken from government control in recent days, fell to the rebel alliance, Daraa fell to local armed groups. Daraa city has both strategic and symbolic importance. It is a provincial capital and is close to the main crossings on the Jordanian border. Syrian officials also left government buildings in Sweda on Friday and fled the mainly Druze southern province after local fighters took control of some checkpoints in the province. The Sweda governor, the police and prison chiefs and the local Baath party leader all left their offices in the city of Sweda. Meanwhile, thousands of people have fled homes as the Syrian city looks set to become the third to be captured by the rebels. The UN has reported that an estimated 120,000 refugees have already fled conflict zones for sanctuaries in the north since the conflict reignited, stoking fears that it could spark a mass migration. In view of the situation prevailing in Syria, several countries have issued advisories to their citizens either living or planning to visit the West Asian nation. India's Ministry of External Affairs late on Friday issued an advisory to citizens to avoid all travel to Syria until further notice. The MEA in its advisory has requested Indians currently in Syria to remain in touch with the Indian Embassy in Damascus at their emergency helpline number and email for updates. It further said those who can are advised to leave by the earliest available commercial flights and others are requested to observe utmost precaution about their safety and restrict their movements to the minimum. The United States State Department also asked Americans in Syria to immediately leave the country. The department urged U.S. citizens to depart Syria now while commercial options remain available. Russia's embassy in Damascus also warned its citizens to leave Syria as rebel forces are taking control of major cities one after another. NATO troops take part in a 2-week-long international military exercise dubbed Lightning in northeastern Estonia, not far from the Russian border. This exercise involves forces from multiple NATO member countries aimed at enhancing interoperability, improving defensive capabilities and demonstrating NATO's readiness to respond to potential security challenges in the region. The training is part of NATO's broader efforts to bolster its defense posture in Eastern Europe, particularly in light of the growing tensions with Russia. In a televised address to the nation, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol on Saturday apologized for causing a public stir by declaring martial law. President Yoon also promised that there will be no second martial law declaration. He further added that he has handed over the administration to the ruling party and the government. Meanwhile, the leader of the ruling party, Han Dong-hoon, said that President Yoon is no longer in a position to execute his duties. As per reports, South Korea's parliament will proceed with the re-vote of the Special Counsel Act regarding First Lady Kim Kyon-hee at 8 a.m. GMT ahead of the impeachment vote. A United States appeals court on Friday rejected TikTok's attempt to question the constitutionality of a law requiring TikTok to separate from its Chinese owners or face a U.S. ban. The law signed by President Joe Biden in April would block TikTok from U.S. app stores and web hosting services unless ByteDance, its Chinese parent company, sells the platform by 19th January. After losing an appeal in a federal court, TikTok on Friday said that it would go to the U.S. Supreme Court under right to free speech to fight the ban. The U.S. government alleges TikTok allows Beijing to collect data and spy on users. China and the company denied these claims. The iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is set to reopen its doors to the public on the 7th of December, marking a huge milestone in the historic monument's recovery following the devastating fire in April 2019. The blaze, which engulfed the medieval Gothic masterpiece Notre Dame de Paris, caused widespread destruction, including the collapse of its spire and severe damage to its roof. In the aftermath, a massive restoration effort was launched, mobilizing architects, historians, artisans and engineers from around the globe. French President Emmanuel Macron, who pledged to restore Notre Dame within 5 years, hailed the reopening as a testament to collective resilience and human ingenuity. The reopening ceremony will be graced by world leaders, including newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump, incumbent First Lady of the U.S. Jill Biden, the UK's Prince William and other high-profile dignitaries. Romania's top court annulled an ongoing presidential election after accusations of Russian meddling and ruled on Friday that the entire process, which had been due to conclude this weekend, would have to be rerun. The second round had been scheduled for Sunday and voting had already begun in polling stations abroad. It would have pitted Călin Georgescu, a far-right pro-Russian candidate, against pro-European Union centrist leader Elena Lasconi. Georgescu scored single-digit numbers in opinion polls before the first-round vote on the 24th of November, but then surged to a first-place finish that raised questions over the result. Thousands of pro-European demonstrators marched for the 9th consecutive night in Georgia. The rally took place a few hours after the Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakidze claimed victory in a battle against the opposition amid a deepening post-electoral crisis. Police on Saturday fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse pro-EU protesters, rallying against the Prime Minister's decision to shelve talks on joining the bloc. Riot police in full gear moved in to disperse the rally outside the Parliament building, using water cannons and making arrests as the crowd retreated a few meters from the area. Meanwhile, France, Germany and Poland condemned what they called the disproportionate use of force by Georgia's government against pro-European protesters in a joint statement by the foreign ministers on Friday. They also condemned the targeting of opposition figures and journalists. Colombian authorities denied a United Nations report claiming that the bodies of 20,000 people who were forcibly disappeared over decades of conflict were being kept at Bogota airport. On Thursday, the UN Committee on Enforced Disappearances stated that thousands of unidentified bodies lie in poorly managed cemeteries or storage facilities, citing a hangar at Bogota airport where around 20,000 unidentified bodies are currently stored. Bogota Mayor Carlos Fernando Galán denied the report, which followed a visit by UN delegation to Colombia, and asked the UN to substantiate its claims. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko on Friday signed an agreement on mutual security guarantees between Moscow and Minsk. At a joint press conference following Supreme State Council, Putin expressed concern about the situation in Europe, in particular in Ukraine, saying that Western countries are deliberately escalating tensions. The Russian president also discussed the possibility of deploying weapons such as the Orishnik medium-range ballistic missile in Belarus, saying that he believes that this will become possible in the second half of 2025. During the press conference, Lukashenko requested that Putin deploy new weapon systems, including the Orishnik missile, on his country's territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky again condemned Russia's relentless attacks, emphasizing the devastating toll of its strikes on Ukrainian cities. Sharing a post on X on Friday, Zelensky wrote, "Russia's words mean nothing, but their bombs and missiles speak volumes." The Ukrainian president further criticized Russian President Vladimir Putin and said that he does not seek real peace. Whereas Zaporizhzhia Governor Ivan Fedorov said the attack had set a car garage and service station on fire in the blast, posting images of a fire blazing with debris strewn across the street. Earlier, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had officially handed over the first batch of Peklo, which are domestically developed and built long-range cruise missiles, to the country's armed forces. The president announced the development from his official X handle, saying that the missile that puts Moscow within range is now geared up for full-scale production and operational use. Nepal celebrates Sita Ram Bibaha Panchmi, marriage anniversary of Lord Ram and Goddess Sita, with thousands of devotees visiting Janakpur Dham in the Terai. Visitors from India's Ayodhya too came to Janakpur to attend the Ram Janki marriage ceremony. Janakpur is Sita's birthplace, where Lord Ram entered into a nuptial bond with Goddess Sita in the palace of Raj Rishi Janak. Even today, people of Janakpur treat visitors coming from Ayodhya as in-laws. Viva Panchmi is strengthening people's connection between India and Nepal, and the celebration is shared cultural heritage. Celebrating the ritual of the Hindu wedding ceremony of Ram and Sita at the Janki Mandir, Vice President Ram Sahaya Prasad Yadav has expressed his confidence that the Bibaha Panchmi festival would promote social and national unity. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri to visit Bangladesh on the 9th of December. India will aim to fight back after Australia's outstanding display of resilience on the opening day of the pink ball test. And India celebrates Armed Forces Flag Day.
Is there some warmth building up on the India-China front after a long period of chill?
Galwan has been the biggest game changer, a turning point in Indian perception of the defense preparedness. They have underestimated the capability and the staying power of Indian armed forces. It's a big lesson for China.
When this government took over, they were very clear from day one. They allocated very high budget on development of infrastructure. The kind of infrastructure development that we have done has put China on a slight back foot.
You're watching DD India Live with me, Munman Bhattacharya. Spokesperson of India's Ministry of External Affairs, Randhir Jaiswal, confirmed on Friday that Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will be visiting Bangladesh on the 9th of December. During the visit, he will meet his Bangladeshi counterpart. There will be several other meetings too during the visit, in which he will try to understand the prevailing situation in India's neighbouring nation, and he would also take part in Foreign Office consultations between the two countries. This is the first major visit of an Indian official to Bangladesh in recent months that is suffering from violence against minorities, especially the Hindu community.
Foreign Secretary is is scheduled to visit Bangladesh on 9th of December, and he will meet his counterpart, and there will be several other meetings during the visit. Foreign Office consultations led by the Foreign Secretary is a structured engagement between India and Bangladesh. We look forward to this meeting. We want to reiterate our position again that they have legal rights, and we hope that these legal rights will be respected, and that the trial will be fair, transparent.
On the last leg of India's President Draupadi Murmu's visit to the eastern state of Odisha, the President will lay the foundation stone for 3 railway lines at Bangri Post C railway station on Saturday. She will also inaugurate Tribal Research Centre, Dandbos Airstrip and Subdivision Hospital at Mayurbhanj district of Odisha in virtual mode. Also earlier, the President interacted with students and teachers and villagers in Uparbeda village on Friday. Meditation is rooted in ancient practices and is an effective tool to achieve inner transformation and peace in the modern times. And to celebrate the process of connecting with the inner soul, 21st December has been declared as World Meditation Day at the United Nations, with India playing an instrumental role. India, along with other nations of the core group, guided the unanimous adoption of the resolution on the declaration of 21st of December as World Meditation Day at the United Nations General Assembly on Friday. India had taken the lead in the declaration of 21st June, which marks summer solstice as International Day of Yoga by the United Nations in 2014. In a decade, it has become a global movement which has led to common people across the globe practicing yoga and making it a part of their daily lives. The Mahakumbh Mela 2025 is set to take place in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj in January and February next year on the banks of the confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati River. Approximately 40 crore devotees are expected to attend the Mahakumbh, marking a significant milestone. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Friday directed officials to finalize action plans for the Mahakumbh by the 15th of December and complete all related projects by the 30th of December. He emphasized expediting ongoing development projects in the city with a campaign-style approach while ensuring quality and zero tolerance for negligence. Mahakumbh is an integral part of Indian tradition. It is renowned globally as the largest peaceful congregation of people. India is celebrating the Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav in the national capital. It is a fest to celebrate the vibrant culture of the different states of the northeast. The Indian state of Meghalaya, often referred to as the abode of clouds, is also a hub for the exquisite Eri silk. This indigenous craft not only preserves the rich cultural heritage of the state, but also provides livelihoods to thousands of families. We bring you a closer look at the journey of Eri silk in Meghalaya in this report.
Deep in the serene Devon Umden village of Meghalaya, the Eri silkworm thrives. Zonghi, a family-run business established by Tander Mung in 2009, has become one such flourishing enterprise specializing in Eri silk production in this village. Unlike other varieties of silk, Eri is derived from the domesticated Samia ricini moth, which feeds primarily on castor leaves. The centerpiece of Zonghi's production is the traditional women's attire, locally known as rindia, that is traditional shawl, and jensem, that is khasi sari, which have gained immense popularity. Moreover, the Eri silk weaving is also providing employment opportunities to women. Zonghi, with its workshop employing 15 women, engaged in spinning, weaving and designing, contributing to their financial independence and social upliftment.
Zonghi has generated lots of employment opportunity to women. They can apply to us, those who are from low income or below poverty line income people. They can apply the scholarship for Zonghi.
Eri silk is known for its durability, warmth and unique texture, making it a sought-after fabric for both traditional and contemporary designs. Its appeal has extended beyond Meghalaya, with markets across India and even abroad recognizing its value. From the rearing fields to the fashion rams, Eri silk from Meghalaya is not just a fabric, it's a testament to the state's rich heritage and sustainable craftsmanship. As demand grows, so does the promise of economic upliftment for the local artisans. If you are visiting Meghalaya, wrap yourself in the warmth of this rich fabric of Eri silk. It's definitely a collection to be made, with eri silk weaving the threads of tradition and modernity. Meghalaya's silk story is truly one to watch. Bureau Report, DD India, Shillong.
Sports news now. In World Chess Championship, Indian challenger Gukesh and China's world champion Ding Liren will look to have a breakthrough after a series of draws when they meet in Game 10 on Saturday. The draw on Thursday in Game 9, which was the 7th of the match and 6th on the trot, has left both players on an identical score of 4.5 points each. Ding had not won a classical chess game since January 2024 before the championship began on the 25th of November at the Resorts World Sentosa in Singapore, but stunned the world with a victory in Game 1 before losing to Gukesh in Game 3. The other 7 matches so far have ended in a draw. If both the players are still level on points after their 14th and final classical game next Thursday, half-hour rapid and, if needed, 3-minute blitz tiebreakers will decide the winner next Friday. India will look to fight back after Australia dominated the opening day of the second test match at the Adelaide Oval on Friday. Australia took first day honours after Mitchell Starc's onslaught saw India crumble to 180 all out. At the close, the hosts were 86 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, with Nathan McSweeney not out at 38 and Marnus Labuschagne on 20 after the visitors were dismissed on the cusp of tea. Starc was India's chief destroyer. He gave the hosts a dream start by removing Yashasvi Jaiswal with the first ball of the match and ended with 6 wickets. With India in trouble, Nitish Kumar Reddy decided to take charge. He reached his highest test score of 42 before he fell to Starc. On to soccer now. Argentine soccer great Lionel Messi was named Major League Soccer's most valuable player on Friday after captaining Inter Miami to a record-breaking regular season campaign. Messi was handed the award after his performance helped Miami to a record regular season points tally of 74, earning the club its first ever Supporters' Shield. The 37-year-old Argentine finished the regular season with a league-leading 36 goal contributions. 7 December is celebrated as Armed Forces Flag Day every year in India. Citizens wear badges of the national flag and also donate to the Fund for the Welfare of the Martyred and Disabled Soldiers. Nandita Dagar reports.
7th of December is observed as the Armed Forces Flag Day since 1949 throughout India to honour the martyrs and the men in uniform who valiantly fought and continue to fight on our borders to safeguard the country's honour. Soldiers are one of the greatest assets of any country. They are the guardians of the nation and protect the citizens at all costs. The Armed Forces Flag Day brings to forefront our commitment of looking after our war-disabled soldiers, Veer Naris and the families of martyrs who have sacrificed their lives for the country. Fundraising for the well-being of armed forces personnel and their families is another aspect of the Armed Forces Flag Day. The Defence Ministry created the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund in 1949. Contributions can be made to the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund by cheque, demand draft, NEFT, RTGS drawn in various bank accounts. For contribution to the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund, you may please log in to affdf.gov.in. On this day, symbolic flags are flown to raise awareness of the sacrifices made by our military and to promote donations. Wearing these flags is a straightforward but heartfelt way to show respect and gratitude. Citizens have the chance to show their appreciation for defense troops and their families on this particular day. In New Delhi, this is Nandita Dagar for DD India.
India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platforms. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. So you also can get great content for free if you download Waves today. That's all in this edition of DD India Live, but do share your thoughts with us on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. This is Munmun Bhattacharya from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.